Good morning. I love these moments of waiting for the tribe to gather. It occurred to me that one of the benefits, certainly for me, and I think this is something we all share in, about coming to this gathering, it's like we're arriving at the place of the healing waters. And it helps me to be more vulnerable, to be more open, to be more honest. It's to watch myself more carefully. I feel like doing these sessions together helps keep me honest, helps keep all of us just vulnerable, open, less judgmental of ourselves, and open to our frailties, our strengths, our frailties, and just strengthens our ability to watch how we go. Just talking to all of you about our hindrances, aversion and desire. Last week, Monday and Tuesday, we focused on desire, and has helped me to watch more carefully and see, how do I waste time or deplete my energy or cause myself pain and suffering. And although I've been working on it for a long time, and I feel like I've been effective in minimizing, and I don't even like to sort of say that I'm happy most of the time, because anything can happen any minute. To challenge our illusion that we think we're happy most of the time. But you watch more carefully, it becomes more subtle. You start to see, like, oh, I didn't realize that was aversion. Our angry response to something, feeling, looking at aversion, what is aversion? It's looking at something that potentially could help us to be more mindful, help us to grow, might be painful, might be challenging, and we avoid it because it is uncomfortable, because it causes us pain, suffering, And as I said last week and Monday and Tuesday, there's smart liking and stupid liking. There's smart and stupid desire, right? You might have a desire to get your, master's degree in geology. That's a smart desire. You direct your efforts toward achieving a certain goal, which you think will be beneficial to you and others and to the community. Then there's, kind of all the stupid desires that we think achieving getting something is going to make us happy. There's a wonderful quote from the Tao Te Ching that says, let me see if I can remember it. We tend to think that someplace else will be better, that somebody else has the answers, and that at some point in the future will all work out. Well, nobody else has the answers. No place else is better, and it's already worked out. That, which is a way of saying, practice being content with what is in this moment, then step forward. So with aversion, it's the same kind of thing. Why do we push things away? Because they're painful. We tend to want to avoid things that are going to be uncomfortable. And working with that, noticing that, I can give you a good example of that, of something that has come up for me in the last couple of days. But before I say that, I want to say the antidote for all the hindrances, sloth and torpor, desire, anguish, restlessness, is mindfulness, is paying attention. The more we work to pay attention, the more we recognize how these things are obstacles to our freedom, to our increasing sense of joyfulness and happiness. one of the things, well, here's what happened, is that one of my students mentioned to me that there was a course being taught on cultural appropriation of yoga and the whitewashing of yoga. And I have to tell you, quite frankly, that makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up, right? And I immediately, stick my feet in the ground and anchor myself and have this huge reaction to that. Because yoga, to me, is an experience, is the experience of boundlessness. And the minute we put boundaries on how it can be taught or who can teach it or what it is or who it belongs to me, that's not yoga. So how can we limit, who's going to decide who's qualified to teach yoga? I welcome all yoga teachers. I welcome goat yoga and gym yoga and wine yoga and beer yoga, and teach it in a brewery or teach it in a church. I don't care. Eventually, if you're exposed to the idea of paying attention, which if you're doing asana, you have to kind of start to pay attention, that it begins the transformation process. All yoga starts on the physical plane, on the tangible plane. That's the 8-limb path. We start with asana. That begins this process of waking us up. So to judge people who are just stepping onto the path and maybe less conscious than some others, to me seems, is it only people from South Asia who are qualified to teach yoga? That just, and probably I'm reactionary to that, because when I wrote Power Yoga, oh my God, the heavens opened and the rain poured down. It was commercial. It wasn't real yoga. Who did I think I was, teaching? And I just simply felt it was a great practice, and that athletes and men would benefit from this, and military people. And I wanted to make it accessible to athletes, to men, to people in the military, to people who might not otherwise ever have the experience or the interest in trying yoga. And it was true that calling it Power Yoga brought a lot of people into yoga that might not, who are now meditating, who are now teaching yoga in a very authentic way. So and so my first response to that, which was kind of like my own psychotherapy, I just wrote out this, this response. I'm like, oh, I think this is bullshit. And then I had to look at that and go, why are you quite so triggered by this? And you start to realize that your angry response diminishes if you remember that others' anger or sense of self-righteousness or arrogance or desire to deliver the truth, whatever they think that might be, points to really a sense of helplessness and prevents them from acting in a more effective way. So realize, I don't know anything about this course or this person teaching this course. I haven't taken it. I'm sort of having a lot of judgment about what potentially it could present or say, and that's exactly what was done to me. People judged my books and me as a teacher who never took a class with me, never read my books. And so paying attention helps you see that all aggression, however it masquerades, is a source of pain. And so I shifted my focus from self-righteousness and anger. And also the whitewashing of yoga, that was another thing. I went, oh my God. 15 years ago, I co-founded Give Back Yoga Foundation so we could bring yoga to everyone. We took hundreds of grants to get yoga into all underserved, under-resourced communities. We train teachers to teach veterans and in prisons and people with addiction and people with eating disorders, irrespective of size, age, color, gender, I don't care. So I feel very personally, you know, I guess attacked by anyone who says, oh, it's the Americans that have screwed up yoga, because I've been in India and spent quite a bit of time there, and I can tell you, yoga is not this sacrosanct, pristine, perfect methodology that can, the Indians, the monks, the sadhus, the swamis, when I was in India, we're all just as interested in material things and marketing and sex and, promotion as the Americans are. So I just feel we're all in this together. Let's support one another. And so I had to, kind of look at that and go, okay. Aversion. What can you do to work with aversion? You can shift your focus from your anger to the suffering of the situation. Who wants to suffer? Also, you can think about the idea of karma. The universe is not unaware of what we do, and what we do creates our future moments. And if what we're doing is unfair or unjust or untrue, we don't need to worry about it. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. So we can practice forgiveness. That's a tough one for me. Sometimes people really hurt you and it's hard to forgive them. Got to work at that. One thing that's most helpful, I think, is recognizing the emotions that masquerade as aversion. Whether it's judgment or whether it's, what else would there be? What masquerades as self-righteousness, as protection, as, so you look at why you're avoiding a situation. So they may continue to arise, but as you watch them more, they don't control you. Disappointment, fear, anger, all part of aversion. And then the last one, I think, is just loving kindness. Can I really cultivate loving kindness? Cultivate gratitude for what I have. And not worry about what others are doing. Not be knocked, as Patanjali tells us in the Yoga Sutra. Not to cultivate upeksha, equipoise, not disturbed by the errors of others. I know we packed a lot into that today at 7:15, and I'll go over the 5 things you can do to work with aversion tomorrow again. But I wanted to share that story with you and let you know that, we're all in this together. We're all working on becoming more mindful, on being more balanced, more peaceful. Thanks for being here this morning. Okay. I don't know where my bells are. They're somewhere else. Let's just sit without the bells. Close your eyes. Let your breath wash through your body. Letting go of stories and trying to memorize how we can work with aversion, and letting go of whatever is exciting you or disappointing you today. And just come to be in your body. Feel the weight of your body sitting in your chair. And say to yourself, my desires, my aversions are conditioned phenomena. They will arise and they will pass. All things are impermanent. Feel your clothes on your body. What is the temperature of the air surrounding you today? How are your hands? Are your hands cold? Warm? Are you relaxed? Are you on edge? Just notice what's going on with your body. And then notice how easy it is to just come into the body, connect to the breath, be aware of your body. And down regulate. Awareness increases our ability to take control of how we respond to things. Letting go of the tension, the uncertainty. Listening to the sounds that are part of this moment. What story do they tell? Not thinking about it, just noticing. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, know I'm breathing out. Drop down, connect with the body, calm the body. See if you can arrive at a sense of joyfulness and contentment. Just for this moment, and this moment, and this moment. And then watch what arises. Become aware of your thoughts, and calm the thoughts. Very gently begin to prepare yourself to return to full waking consciousness. Keeping your eyes closed, just slowly start to take in the world around you through your other senses, through hearing, through feeling the temperature of the air on your skin the way we started. Feeling the place where you're sitting, maybe have a twist, ooh, to your right and to your left. Ooh, arching, extending, ooh, and flexing and rounding. Rubbing your hands together, resting your eyes, palms of your hands. Take a deep breath. Opening your eyes. May we all be healthy, happy, and free from suffering. And may we all find strength and courage in our journey through this day to help alleviate suffering for all sentient beings. Namaste. So, good morning. Thank you for being here this morning, supporting one another, supporting me, helping us all to grow, to become better yogis, more compassionate, develop loving kindness, practice, inspire us to practice. Good morning, Sherry. Kat, love you. Helene, Lisa, thanks for being here. Thanks, Carol. It's funny, I noticed we're at 79 now, but because I didn't talk for quite a while, I noticed the numbers dropped by about 10 people, which helps me realize how much we depend on the guidance. And really, that's the intention of these 30 minutes, right, is to help guide you, to help you develop your own meditation so that when you're not being guided, slowly the training wheels can be taken off and you can continue to ride on your own without guidance. Guidance is great. We all want help get that push off in the right direction. Thanks, Nydia. Thanks, Catherine. Oh, good to see you. Thanks, Silvana. Oh, Janet, you're such a good soul. I don't know if everybody loves when I talk. I certainly do. But then, don't most of us like it? Thanks, Marianne. Good to see you. Thanks, Desi. Blessings to you, Fig. This is just what I needed this morning, Tanya. Good heavens. Yeah, go out into the world and keep an eye out for aversion. What are you avoiding that might really be a good teaching for you and help you get stronger and be bigger and be a greater contributor to the upliftment of this society, this planet, this place? What else do I have aversion to? People that want to drill in the Arctic National Wildlife Reserve. So, what happens there is practice forgiveness. Recognize the emotions that masquerade as aversion. What else? I have a list of them here. Shift your focus to the suffering of the situation. Thank God Biden has put a stop to drilling in Anwar. Yes, let's make it nothing's impermanent, but let's make it as permanent as possible, that it's a forever sanctuary, wildlife preserve. Good day, beautiful Sangha. Okay, I have to get ready to teach. Oh, thanks, Rosemary. Thanks, Linda. Thank you, Lori. Oh, aversion happens. Yes, it does. It absolutely does. Where does it say? All those emotions that masquerade as aversion, they will continue to arise. You've been, I've been practicing for 50 years, and still I see aversion arising, you know. But hopefully it doesn't continue. It may control me for a few minutes, but then you start to practice. You say, okay, try and have compassion for others' point of view. The antidote is always mindfulness. When we really penetrate our feelings and our perceptions to experience what is, these qualities of aversions aren't huge hindrances anymore. And they just become something we can look at, like we look at, you know, baby fox or a tree or the sun coming up or somebody riding a bike down the road. Comes into view, disappears. Loving kindness to my family and all our clutter. Bye, you guys. Have a great day. I'm going to go teach some yoga. Hopefully, I'm not culturally appropriating anything. Boy, that's a really hot button for me. Just, when you work really hard to be authentic and present yoga in the most pure and honest form you can, it's hard to acknowledge that you shouldn't be teaching it. We are conditioned, working on unconditioning, rewiring the system. Thanks, Kat, you're right. All right, I'm going to let you, thanks, Janet. That's a great way to end. Do the work, end of story. Love you all.